Okay, hello everyone, and we are back here at this table with all the dolls that we ended on last time. So, I guess I'll show you how to do this puzzle now. So, if you remember, Jake mentioned in his letter here, that's not the letter, he says that you need to look inside Camille's dancing shoes for the name of their maker. And then we already wore the shoes to perform her dance. And then we have to give the dolls an order. So if you click on the shoes, last video Nancy was like, oh, the name is too faded. So what you actually have to do is you have to take a picture of them. It's kind of obscure, but you got to take a picture of the inside of the shoes. And you got to send that to Bess. And then I think you can call them as well and tell them that it's coming. So we might as well, I guess. I wonder why Ned isn't an option in this game to call. He's kind of in and out of all of them, whereas like Bess is in all of them. Kind of weird.
Lori gave me a letter that Jake heard
might as well
to
just
his niece,
fill them in, I guess.
How to find his gold mine.
If Lori knows where the mine is, why doesn't she just make a beeline for it?
Because she's fucking stupid. We've been over this.
Tell his niece outright where it was. So he filled the letter with all these weird, obscure clues. I don't think Lori could make heads or tails of them. I know I barely can.
Sounds like when he lost his wife, Jake may have lost a few marbles as well.
Ugh. Rough. Making judgments on the man.
The name of the company that made Jake's wife's dancing shoes is too faded to read. But to find Jake's mine, I need to know what it is.
Hey, I know what you can do. Take a picture of them with your cell phone, then send
we
it
already
to
did
We'll
that.
check them out for you.
But I thought you guys had to paint Bess's room.
Boring.
I thought you guys had a life.
We're going to have to take a break soon.
Ah,
We're almost at
you made a mistake there, Nancy. We got nothing better to do.
Anyway, send us a picture of the shoes via cell phone as soon as you can.
Actually, I already sent you a picture of the shoes.
I'm ahead of the
Okay,
game.
we're on it.
Oh, you guys are the greatest.
I know. Need anything else?
I don't know how they would be able to decipher that fucking shit with a photo and not even being there.
I discovered this cabinet
That's
full
insane
of
to
old
me.
dolls in the caboose.
I don't know how they'd be able to make out that text any better than we would,
They belong to
but
Jake's
whatever, I
wife,
guess.
Camille. Jake mentioned them in his letter to his niece.
They could have been Jake's, you know. I mean, they never had a child of their own, right? So maybe after Camille died, he went a little bonkers. Oh, hey, I'm just trying to think outside the box here, okay? Something it wouldn't hurt you to do from time to time, little Miss No Imagination. You know, maybe
I wonder how much those dolls are worth. They'd probably be worth a fuck ton of money in today's day and age. Nancy should steal them and try and sell them.
Done by tomorrow, I'll be grounded for a month. I was just kidding about your imagination. It's wonderful. You're wonderful. Very, very wonderful. That's more like it.
You guys are gonna start making out now, or what?
Someone threw the emergency brake and almost derailed the train.
Someone tried
That's someone being an asshole.
Well, it looks that way.
Let's
although
not bring
I sure
Joe
don't
into
know
this.
why.
Maybe someone wants Jake's gold all to himself. Or herself. That doesn't make sense, Bess. Nobody even knows where Jake's mine is yet. I know. Maybe the gold from his mine...
I actually forget the reason why somebody threw the brake. I hope it's revealed at the end of the game, because yeah, right now it doesn't make much sense why someone would do that.
I don't think so.
Tino Balducci definitely has a thing for Lori Gerard.
Really?
Gross.
I bet the tabloids would love to hear that.
Why?
What's more, I get the
Two
feeling Lori
D-list
feels the
celebrities
same
that
way
have
about
done
him.
nothing?
You mean there's
You know what, you're right. The tabloids probably would want to know about that.
Something's going on between them. I'm not really sure what.
They're friends with benefits, I guess. Oh god, the thought of Tino having sex is disgusting. Let's get that image far, far away from here. It's enough of that.
I better go.
Exactly. I better run away from that image. Fuck's sake. Disgust myself sometimes. Okay, so we got the shoes. They're going to deal with the shoes. So what we have to do is to figure out the order in which the dolls are placed in that row. And in order to do that, first we got to know which dolls are which. And you can figure that out. Everything you need to know is on the train. So I'm going to go back to the dining car so we can work our way back towards there. and I'm going to show you guys where you need to find all this garbage. We'll probably talk to a few people too while we're here. Hopefully I remember where all of it is. Okay, do these guys have anything to say?
You missed it.
Missed what?
The argument of the century.
Joe, he's exaggerating.
Oh, come on, you heard him.
Things are
They
happening,
tear each other to
and
shreds.
I don't want them
Who?
to.
Charleena and Lori.
All we heard was the tail end of it, and unfortunately, we really couldn't
They
make
come
out
to
what they were saying.
blows. That's all that really
So
matters.
you
at this
don't know what
point.
they were arguing about?
No,
But whatever it was, both of
Well,
them
you guys
were
are useless
absolutely
then.
out of their minds, livid.
and it would probably be a good idea to find out why.
Let me look into it. I'll talk to you later, okay?
You know where to find us.
Because we never leave.
Back already?
See you soon.
I just want to
Better.
bother you guys some more. Okay, so now we got that, I guess, to deal with. They're just... Charleena and Lori got in a massive argument, probably about whose ego is bigger. But we'll deal with that as we get here. So the very first thing you're going to find is you're going to find these shoes here, and they have the name Sadie Crawford in them. So that tells you that the doll named Sadie Crawford, she's the one with no shoes. She's barefoot. So I'm just going to write this down. She is barefoot. So that's our first doll that we know. Don't think there's anything in here. No, it's just that stupid thing. Picture is still locked. So let's go talk to Charleena about what the hell happened.
More questions?
No.
Would you like to see the letter that Lori gave me as a reward for finding her?
The one in which Jake Hurley supposedly tells his niece how to find his lost mine? No, thank you. I
Ugh.
happily leave it to you to try to solve the mystery of his disappearance. You can afford to look foolish, dear. I can't.
What does that mean? You're on a fucking train with 5 people. Who the hell is gonna... You think some paparazzi's just gonna pop out of the fucking window with a camera and take a picture of you trying to decipher a code that you can't decipher because you're so
Do you have a
stupid?
theory as to who
I don't get
pulled the
it. That
emergency
line makes
brake?
absolutely no
Well,
sense.
I know it wasn't me. I assume it wasn't you, and I highly doubt it was Lori. So
What
that
if it
leaves
was
those
me?
2 friends of yours, Mr. Gray and Mr. Balducci.
What do you think their motive was?
I don't know
Greed.
about your friends, but perhaps those other 2 simply thought it would be fun.
Yes.
Boys will be boys.
Yes, I'm sure someone thought it would be fun to almost fucking kill everyone on the train. Fucking psychopaths aboard here.
What were you and Lori arguing about earlier today?
Lori and I? We weren't arguing. We were simply discussing a topic about which both of us are passionate, that's all.
Were you discussing her wanting to be a romance novelist?
Gross.
No. And even if we were, that's really none of your business. I know that sounds harsh, but really, Nancy, eavesdropping is so tacky.
Can we throw
Actually,
this
it was
woman
Frank
off
and
the
Joe Hardy
train?
who overheard you. They said I should talk to you before they gave
Oh,
me all the
why are you
gory
throwing
details,
Frank
but
and Joe
since
under
you
the
obviously
bus?
don't want to tell me your side of the story, I'll just have to get the scoop from them.
No, you don't have to do that.
Just throw him under the
A
bus.
storyline that Lori submitted to me found its way into my last book, despite
plagiarism.
the fact that she never received compensation for it.
Fucking
She's reading the book
plagiarist.
now,
And
when
you
she
think
got
you're
that
so high and
part,
mighty over
she
everybody.
freaked.
Well, no fucking shit. That's bullshit. Some bullshit right there.
You stole one of her ideas?
Gross.
She had no business sending me unsolicited material. But technically,
God, I hate you, Charleena.
now legally she can't prove anything, and I'm certainly not about to admit anything. And it's not as if she needs the money.
Oh,
but
are
that's
you a
what
horrible
we were
person?
arguing about. For what
Like,
it's
it's-
worth, I'm going to talk to this producer I know to see if he'll cast
Oh, I'm sure
Lori
you
in
will.
his next
I'm
movie.
sure you will.
It'll help ease my conscience, and who knows? She could wind up being a star. I mean, she is blonde.
Yes. No, it's like it's now become a competition as to who's the worst person on this train, Tino or fucking Charleena. And like Charleena is like maliciously evil. Like Tino's just a dumb shit, but he's like harmless. Charleena
How would I
is
go about
probably the
finding out
worst
the name of
character on this
Jake's
entire
train engineer?
train. She's awful.
If you're smart,
just
you'd
an
ask
awful
me.
person.
And because my work is going surprisingly well, during my next break, I'll log on to my archives at home and see what I can turn up.
That'd
Boo.
be great. Thank you.
I don't want your
Whoever
help.
invented the cellular modem, that's whom you should thank, dear.
Ooh.
Aren't you even going to
Technology from
try
mid
finding out what
2000s.
happened to Jake Hurley?
No time. The only reason I haven't insisted that Lori release me from all this silliness is there's always the possibility that what happened to him has the makings of a bestseller, although I highly doubt it.
Why are you so sure that Jake's story wouldn't make a bestseller?
His story is an all too common one. A man wanders off into the desert in search of gold and never returns. Why? He either doesn't have enough food or water, or he encounters hostile natives.
He fucking starved to death. Who cares? There's no story there.
But why was his train found out in the middle of nowhere with just the dead engineer on board?
That does make the story a little more
Because
interesting.
Jake killed him.
My guess is the engineer got tired of waiting for Jake to return, took off in the train to get help, and died of a heart attack along the way.
Rough.
After which, the train rolled to a stop in Blue Moon Canyon. Anyone experienced enough to single-handedly run a steam engine would have been quite a bit older than Jake.
What do you think happened to Camille?
She
She
probably
hated
died
Jake.
of something mundane,
Committed
like
suicide.
pneumonia or even measles. Now, if it was wintertime when she died, and they were in the mountains, Jake no doubt kept her body on the train for months before he buried her, which is
Gross.
rather delicious in a morbid sort of way.
I'll touch bases with you later.
My publisher thanks you.
Just leaving dead bodies out in the parlor. Okay, so that's what Charlene has to say. She's a really unlikable character. You grow to hate her more and more throughout the game. I can't stand her. Okay, so I think the next thing we have to look at is this poem here. So it doesn't tell us anything about Edna, but it tells us that Alice is tired. She wants to go straight back to bed. So Alice is the one that's yawning, if you saw her. Yeah. Yawning Alice is her name, I guess. Her full name is Yawning Alice, and you'll need to know that for the puzzles, so keep note of that. She's the sleepy one. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. It doesn't tell us anything about Edna the Terrible, unfortunately, but she's in another section of the train. Okay, Edna the Terrible is here. Or, sorry, Awful Ursula is here. Or Awful Ursula is the one with red hair. She's pretty easy to spot. Red hair. Okay. Then there's also this as well, Thomasina O'Neill. That's actually her hair. If you remember, there was a doll that was missing a chunk of its hair. That is Thomasina O'Neill, however you pronounce that. Thomasina O'Neill? I don't know. It's hard to see. But she's the one with missing hair. Okay. I believe there's one more, yeah. Teddy Eberhardt is the one with, he's wearing like a Scottish kilt. So there's a lot to see in here. Scottish kilt. And we might as well talk to John while we're in here as well. I don't think there's anything in here. Gotta quit closing it on yourself. No, nothing there. What's in here?
Sickly Sarah.
Oh,
her
I
germs
totally
blue,
missed this
it
one.
Made one of her pretty green eyes turn blue.
Totally missed that. So, perfect timing, I guess. So, Sickly Sarah is the one blue and one green eye. One green eye. I don't know who drew this or who wrote it, but it's kind of creepy anyway. Camille had a little bit of too much obsession with these dolls, I guess. See what John's up to.
So are you making any progress in here?
Oh yeah, not only am I getting some real unusual EMRs, that's electromagnetic readings, but take a look at this.
You've got something?
I set up a camera and took some time-lapse photos.
You
Sometimes
smudged
I
the
was in
lens
room,
there,
sometimes I
bud.
wasn't, but somewhere along the line,
When were you
I
never in
managed
this
to get
room?
a shot of Camille.
Where? You don't mean that little blob, do you?
Yep, that's Camille.
Okay.
Must be Camille.
You're
There's
skeptical.
no other
That's
explanation
cool.
for it.
Just remember, the key word when
Lens
it comes
flares
to
don't
ghostly
exist.
phenomena is energy. That blob
Yes.
is the result of Camille's residual life force, spirit if you will, reacting with the chemicals in the photographic paper.
Couldn't it just be a flaw in the photographic paper?
Or about a
it
million
could be
other
that
things.
too, but it's not. Trust me.
I saw a bunch of weird glowing lights outside the window of the sleeping car.
Really? Actually, I'm not surprised.
You're not?
They're probably some form of piezoelectricity. See, my guess is quartz crystals.
And then he
in the
just
ground
gets
are
all
being
scientific
compressed
on
as the
us.
train
I like
passes
that.
over them. And the resulting voltage,
He
called
takes a
piezoelectricity,
photo of a fucking
is manifesting
smudge and he's
itself
like,
as
oh, it's a
glowing light,
ghost. It must be a
probably because of
ghost.
some quirk in the train shape
And then
or
we
the
see this
composition of
shit and he's
metals
like, yeah,
used in
no, that's
construction.
bullshit.
It was custom built, remember?
So it's a natural phenomenon, not a ghostly one?
Take it from me. Old Mother Nature was capable of some pretty scary stuff.
But
I'll
not my
let you get
finger
back
on a
to
camera
work.
lens.
Pleasure talking to you.
You keep doing your thing, John. Okay, so I think that's it for the doll stuff in here. Let's move on to the next car and talk to Tino. What's Tino up to these days? I think there's something down here. Eliza Sandberger, decorative red ribbon. Okay, so Eliza Sandberger has the red ribbon on her. Red ribbon. Nothing there. I think there was something in this. There's this picture. Okay, so this one, there's no real distinguishing marks. You just gotta kind of know what they look like from the picture, I guess. So Hager Anderson, he's got the overalls. I'm just gonna put that. And Chantilly Hildegard is the one in the pink dress. I think it was pink. I'll have to take a look, but I'm pretty sure it was pink. Pink dress. Okay. She looks Indian in that photograph. It's kind of weird, but okay, this is nothing. Is there nothing else in here? So there's some packing peanuts on the floor from John's box, which is weird, because why would they be in here?
Glad you dropped in. Lori told me she'd given you a letter from Jake Hurley that says how to find his mine.
Fuck, you found out, people. Oh shit.
That's right. You can read it if you want.
Lori should have given that to me. I mean, I'm the trained professional around here. Let me take a look.
And then he just says it's crap and gives it back.
I've seen enough.
That one sentence was enough.
2 words. Useless. Those are just the rantings of a guy who spent way too much of his life swirling mud around in Pandora in the hot sun. 5-star nut job.
You don't think there's anything helpful in there?
Nada.
Did you find any fingerprints on the emergency brake handle?
None that ready hell. Thanks to Casey Jones up there. I told the old geezer not
I
to
don't
touch
get
him,
that
but he
reference.
went and got his big, fat, oily paw prints all over the place. If we didn't need him to drive the train, I'd charge him with obstruction of justice.
Yes.
Did you do anything else besides look for fingerprints?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I found this. Probably fell out of the perp's pocket while he was yanking on the handle.
Looks like some kind of thermometer.
Yeah, like the kind a certain ghost hunter uses on that bogus show of his.
You think John Gray threw the brake? But why would he do that?
Because they're thinking about axing his show, that's why. I checked with this buddy of mine in L.A. Gray's got to come up with something real big real soon, or he's toast. And you can't get much bigger than a train with a spooky past that's prone to strange accidents, now can you?
Dear God, a logical thought from Tino. You don't see that too often. Too bad he fucking stole
Have
the
you
thermometer.
confronted John with your suspicions?
All in due time. I always like to get my ducks in a row before I make an arrest.
But couldn't someone else have dropped that thermometer?
Like you?
Please. Who's the top cop here, huh? Who's the world-famous detective?
Oh, this
You?
guy's such a piece of shit.
I know what I'm
love
doing,
it.
sweetheart. John Gray
Sweetheart.
wanted publicity. That's exactly what I'm gonna give him.
Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Helping people is what I'm all about.
Gross. No, like he that's what those peanuts on the floor are supposed to tell you, that he fucking took that thermometer himself and he's trying to frame John. That's what we're all about back here. Oh, I guess we can take carbide while we're back here because we need them to run the lantern later in the game. So that's where the carbide is. Okay, do we have all the dolls? I'll go check. There might actually be some in the engine room too. Let's check in this drawer here. See if there's anything. Nothing in there. That's just that silver line that we already did. That's where we got the blueprints from. Ah, yes, this. So Naughty Tina has the crack in her head. So there's another one for us. Naughty Tina, she has the crack. Okay. I think that's all that you can find in here. Can't remember if there's one in the caboose or not. I'll take a look around. Is there anything in here? No, just the screwdriver. Weird paintings. We already dealt with that thing. I don't think so. Hopefully that's all of them. Okay. Mama. God, that's creepy. Okay, yeah. I think we have enough. I think there's one that you don't know, but you can guess her name. Just I think. So this one is Chantilly Hildegard. That one is Yawning Alice. This one I'm not sure. This is the one that I'm not sure about. Either way we can do it, because she's the only one I'm not sure about. This is Eliza Sandberger. She's got the red ribbon. This one is Hager Anderson with the overalls. That one's Naughty Tina, obviously, with the crack. That one's Sickly Sarah. God, she looks sick. That one is Teddy Eberhardt, because he's got the Scottish kilt on him. Thomasini O'Neill, she's missing the hair. Edna the Terrible, she's got the red hair. Or, sorry, Awful Ursula has the red hair. So this one must be... Oh, okay, this one is Edna the Terrible, because she's crying Mama from the poem. She's crying. That's kind of vague, but that's how you know that's the one. And this one is Barefoot, so that's Sadie Crawford. So we do know all of them. So Edna the Terrible is the one that cries for her mother. Which is, yeah, pretty vague. But so I know who all of them are, so now we need to call Bess and George back. I find it funny that she calls them right in front of Lori. She doesn't, like, she usually says, oh, I need to be out of the room. But no,
Hello?
Lori
Me
doesn't
again.
matter.
Just checking to see whether you were able to find out the name of those dancing shoes yet.
Your wish is our command. But hang on to your hat. The
Oh,
name is a
Jesus.
real mouthful. The shoes were made by Chaussette Chateauyan. Chaussette That's French for shimmering socks. Apparently, if you were into dancing in the 1870s, that was the company to get your shoes from.
Chaussette Chateauyan. Got it.
Jesus
Thanks,
Christ.
guys.
Thanks for letting us help.
Okay, I think I wrote it down correctly. Why are you making assumptions here? You're not.
It appears that
He was
John
not.
Gray is our brake-pulling saboteur.
John Gray?
Gross.
Are you sure?
Balducci is sure. He found a digital thermometer like John uses on his TV show at the scene of the crime. He theorizes that it fell out of the saboteur's pocket as he was yanking on the brake handle.
Looks like Balducci is a decent detective after all.
He's not at all. That statement should never be uttered. Ever.
Charleena and Lori had this big, huge argument, and you'll never guess why.
Charlena's a piece of
Lori
shit?
called Charleena a
I could guess why.
No.
Charleena called Lori an airhead.
No.
Bess, she doesn't really want you to guess, okay?
Fuck
Tell
you,
us,
Bess.
man.
Well, it seems that Lori sent Charleena a bunch of story ideas, one of which Charleena used in her latest book.
Like, wouldn't this
about
be a
telling
massive
or
fucking
paying
scandal?
Charleena stole
That a
something
famous
Lori
author
wrote?
is
That's
plagiarizing her
incredible.
work from
No,
other
the fact
people?
that Lori wrote something that Charleena thought was worth stealing. That's what's incredible.
It makes me think that Charleena is a lot more devious than she appears.
Yeah.
She
better keep
doesn't.
an eye on her,
She
Nan.
appears devious to
I
begin
better
with.
go.
She's
We'll be
an
right
evil
here.
bitch.
Yeah, washing the paint out of our hair.
Stealing people's shit. No, like, that would be the fucking scandal. Is her stealing people's work. Okay, so we got the name of the shoes, and you may be asking, okay, what does that have to do with the dolls? What you actually have to do, it's a really long-ass name. And what you have to do is the initials of the dolls spell out the name if you put them in the right order. So Chazette Chatillons. So I hope my pronunciation is probably terrible. So it starts with a CH. So Chantilly Hildegard, she is first. And then you have AU, so that's Awful Ursula with the red hair. And then you have SS, and Sickly Sarah is SS. ET, so that would be Edna the Terrible. The is just gotten rid of. God, stop it. Then TE is Teddy Eberhardt, the Scottish kilt. And then you have SC for Sadie Crawford. HA, which is Hager Anderson. Where are you, Hager? There you are. Hager. Mike Hager. Okay, and then you have TO for Thomasina O'Neill. YA is Yawning Alice. And then you have NT and ES. So Naughty Tina is NT and ES is Eliza Sandberger. So there we go. That opens the drawer underneath. We get 2 slugs. And you look at this. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Can I open this? Why is this here? Weird. Can you open the box up? No? Okay. So now we have 2 slugs, so we can open up the next line in his little poem here. It says to locate. Okay, not the mine. When it comes to placing the stones, you'll need to ask someone who holds a warm place in my heart. I have stored his name accordingly. But to retrieve his name, you'll have to give the dolls an order. This will require looking inside Camille's dancing shoes, yada yada yada. So, warm place in my heart is actually referring to the stove all the way back in the kitchen, which has the duck and the square on it. If we'll take a look here real quick. Oh, Jesus, I keep forgetting the sleeping car is a thing. It's a longer crawl than I remember. So we got a duck and a square. And that's what we need to open up to get the engineer's name. So I will check, make our way back here, and I will check the little stitching thing on the wall in Camille's car to see what numbers they are. So the duck is 1 and the square is 4. So let's put our newfound slugs to good use here. Okay. There's 3 8 on one pan, 7 on the other. Okay.
There! With any luck, I just opened the stove in the dining car.
That's dumb. I didn't know you could take stuff off afterwards to pull it back. Well, that's how you do it. Sorry, I had to look that up. I forgot that you could take stuff off and it would go backwards. I'll know better next time. Anyway, we got the stove door open, so we're good to go. I suppose we could probably talk to John, I guess, while we're here. Before we go to the stove. Because I think the stove triggers the arrival at Copper Gorge, if I remember right.
Hey, glad you stopped in. You gotta listen to this.
What have you got?
Is it you
I put
farting?
this digital recorder in the corner where Camille showed up in that picture, and turned it on so it would just keep recording. Now when you play it back at normal volume, all you hear is background noise. But when you turn the volume way up and run the signal through a filter or two, hear that?
I hear something. It kind of sounds like a woman singing.
Not just any woman.
Camille.
So be careful what you say in here. She's listening.
Quit being a creep, John.
Are you by any chance missing a small digital thermometer?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. When I went through the box I'd packed them in, that one over there, I came up one short. I was hoping to set up at least 6 in here so I could check for cold spots. How did you know I was missing one?
Because Tino Balducci found it by the emergency brake handle when he was dusting it for fingerprints. And now he thinks you're the one who pulled
Except
it.
we totally know it was fucking
ridiculous.
Tino.
I didn't have any reason to pull the emergency brake.
Is it true that your show is
Everybody's
in danger of
show's being cancelled.
Newsflash, my show was canceled.
Ooh.
Happened last night. But what nobody knows yet is that it's been picked up by a major TV network. Not only am I still on the air, but I'm sitting prettier than ever.
Sounds like bullshit,
Any other
John.
questions?
Sounds
Were you
like
in
bullshit.
this room the whole time prior to that emergency brake thing?
Of course not. I made a couple of trips to
I
my
can't
apartment
decide if he
and
looks
sleeping car
better
and
with
more
that soul
equipment.
patch,
But did I get an
or with
overpowering
better
urge to
without
pull
it.
the emergency brake while I was there? No.
It's actually the greatest mystery in this game, is if the soul patch enhances his looks or not.
I'll let you get back to work.
We should
Pleasure
have a
talking
vote.
to you.
Have a vote on whether John looks better with the soul patch or not. So you get to hear that recording, which is kind of cool, actually. It's very faint, but you can hear singing, so... That, I don't think that phenomenon is ever explained. You're just kind of left up to you whether you think he actually recorded something or not. But everyone's got motives as usual.
More
Charleena up
questions.
to.
Were you able to find the name of Jake's train engineer?
I came across 3 references to the fact that Jake had an engineer, but I'm afraid none of them include
Ah.
his name. I failed.
You piece of
Sorry.
shit. Useless.
touch bases with you later.
Absolutely useless.
Remember, if it's juicy, I want to know about it.
Absolutely useless. You want to know about it so you can steal it. Steal it from me. So now we can go to the oven door and open her up.
James Thurston.
Well, then you just decided to hide this in here, I guess. So yeah, the engineer's name was James Thurston. So now we know the engineer's name. And I think you talk to Frank and Joe, and then we arrive at Copper Gorge. I'll probably cut it there because it's a good place to stop.
Hey, how's it going?
Tino found one of John Gray's thermometers by the emergency brake handle and is getting ready to throw the book at it.
Throw the book at
John
him.
Gray threw the emergency brake? Why would he do that?
Exactly.
That was my first question, which makes me wonder if maybe Tino's the one who's up to something.
I still say there's less to all this than meets the eye, if you get my drift.
I get your drift, Joe. I have lived with your drift for years. I am saddled with your drift.
All right, all
amazing.
right.
You drift.
I think I know the name of Jake Hurley's engineer. James Thurston.
Great! What else do you know about him?
Nothing.
Well,
Not a
nothing.
damn thing.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, finding out more about him will give us something to do. We'll look into it.
Talk to you later.
You better.
Oh, I guess it didn't trigger the conversation that arrived at Copper Gorge. I'll go talk to Tino and Laurie, and then we'll check back in with them, and then hopefully they have found something out. Hopefully, anyway. Because otherwise we're in trouble if that doesn't trigger Copper Gorge, because I don't know what else to do.
What's going on?
You're the one who pulled that emergency brake,
Just
aren't
blatantly
you?
accuse him.
Me? What are you, joking?
Yeah, exactly.
Care to explain how packing
Fuckface.
material from the box those thermometers were in wound up on the floor over there?
You're just some teenage nobody. I don't have to listen to this.
Oh, listen
You're
to
right,
this
you're
garbage.
Neither do the other passengers. But unless you give me a good reason not to, I think I'll tell them anyway.
Look, maybe I was a little hasty, pointing a finger at the ghost guy like that. Maybe all those lies people have been spreading are starting to get to me.
So,
Maybe I thought it would help if I got a little positive press by
so you decided to almost kill everyone so you could look good. He's jumping out.
Not to let any of this
He's
go
gaining
down.
ground in the race of
Well,
who's the worst
no harm
character
done,
in
I
this
guess.
game. No harm done.
Well, what else can I do?
He fucking almost killed everyone on this
Don't
train.
mention it.
If that thing fucking derailed, everyone would have been dead. And he did it all so he could look good. No harm, no foul. I don't think that fucking applies here. Jesus. That's some logic there, I guess, but whatever. He's not letting Charleena get too far ahead of him. They're neck and neck over who's the worst character in this game. Charleena, like, she had it going with her plagiarism and how above everyone she thought she was. And then Tino just comes roaring back up there by almost trying to kill everyone on the train for petty reasons.
Yes? I hear that Tino and you used to be an idol.
Oh, I don't want to hear
How
about
did
this.
you know that?
I'm a good detective, remember?
I don't want to know about
We
this.
went out a couple of times, yeah. As for why we stopped going out, you'd have to ask him.
Did he try and
I'll come
derail a
back
train
later.
and almost kill
I'll be
you?
waiting.
Okay. Oh, these characters are great. I love them. They're so fucking interesting. There's just so much dumb shit to wade through. They're just the most petty people ever.
What's going on?
How come you told me you and Lori never went out, and she told me you did?
Give me the deets,
Don't you
Tino.
ever stop asking questions?
When people start answering them honestly, I do.
I dumped her, okay?
Oh,
I'm not
cruel.
proud of what I did. I'm not happy about what I did, but it's done. It's over. Now let's drop it.
If you didn't want to dump her, why did you?
When did you say you didn't
You are
want to?
incredibly irritating, you know that? I dumped her because people said going out with her would make me look bad. Said she was a joke. That no one
Like
took her
yourself?
seriously.
You guys are the
Said
perfect
if I
couple.
said
Get
anyone,
together.
No one would take me
You're both
seriously.
divas celebrities that have done nothing and are somehow famous. You're both jokes.
But you didn't stop caring.
No.
That line's terrible.
Now take a powder. I don't feel like talking anymore.
It's so cheesy. It's so bad. But whatever. I like it because it's ridiculous. Fucking Tino. She was a joke. So I dropped her. Ah, Tino. Fuck. Jesus. I thought we were gonna get rammed by an oncoming train. Okay. Hopefully we get to Copper Gorge by talking to Frank and
Hey, how's it going?
Were you able to find anything out about Jake's engineer, that James Thurston guy?
Good news and bad news. The good news is he had a wife in Copper Gorge, so he may have had children.
Bad news is our internet service provider stopped providing before we could use our cell phones to find out anything else.
Why?
That's okay.
Were you
We can
using
do more checking
Sastel?
when we get to
Then I
Copper
could see it.
Gorge.
Right.
There we go. And that triggers the arrival at Copper Gorge. We just go like 3 states over in the matter of a few minutes, I guess. In Copper Gorge, Colorado. This menu is really weird. So you can go to the station is just the train. That's how you get the train. You can't go to the food station yet, or the restaurant. Food station. What the fuck am I talking about? Restaurant. And then there's the museum, and then there's the cemetery back here, like up on some cliffs and shit. But I think I'm actually going to save it here, because this is a good place to cut it before we get into Copper Gorge and all that madness. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye.